This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally. Yes.
It's an absolute riot.
Woo!
And the only movie that can be described as
So much weirder than the last time.
What last time?
it's the frequel
You ready?
we've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
This episode is brought to you by the world's first reposado from Tequila Herradura. Made with slow-cooked, hand-harvested agave sealed into oak barrels and aged 11 months. Before being enjoyed in your glass. Experience the world's first reposado. Tequila Herradura. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Tequila Herradura. 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Brown-Forman, Louisville, Kentucky. Herradura is a registered trademark. Copyright 2025 Brown-Forman Corporation.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Brandon. You're listening to episode 106, The Bizarre Love Triangle Update. Okay, before we get started, if you haven't already, please go back and listen to episode 103. It'll all make so much more sense because just a few weeks ago, we covered a case involving, as the title suggests, an extremely bizarre love triangle. The investigation takes place in Virginia in February of 2023, where a Brazilian nanny, Juliana Perez Magalhães, and Brendan Banfield, her boss, claimed to have killed an intruder, Joseph Ryan, in self-defense, saying that they came home and caught him in the act of allegedly stabbing Brendan's wife, Christine. Here's Fairfax County Chief of Police, Kevin Davis.
We found Joseph Ryan deceased as a result of gunshot wounds and found Christine Banfield suffering from stab wounds.
But authorities wouldn't make an arrest until October of 2023. And it was the nanny, Juliana, who would be charged with second-degree murder in the death of the alleged intruder, Joseph Ryan. But the husband was not charged until recently. Just this past September, Brendan Banfield would be charged with murdering his wife, Christine, and Joseph Ryan. So, Juliana Perez Magalhães' trial was scheduled to begin this month, and prosecutors alleged that the nanny and the husband had lured Joseph Ryan to the Banfield home that morning, believing that he was going to have consensual rough sex with Christine Banfield, who he thought he'd been chatting with on a fetish website. Whereas, according to prosecutors, Ryan had been catfished by someone who was posing as Christine, and police alleged that it was the husband and the nanny who had lured Joseph Ryan to the home and who had been communicating with him as if they were Christine. Here's my co-host Brandon Morgan and I discussing the case in our bonus content from that episode just a few weeks ago.
They're both victims and they don't know what's going on. They're each in a different reality.
Yep.
He's in his reality. He's in this fantasy reality. He gets there. She's in her, like, what's happening?
Like,
and
who are you? Why are you here?
Who are you? Why are you here? And then, I mean, obviously, if the husband did stab her to death, which is, he's been charged with, she's seeing, oh my gosh, this is what my beloved is doing to me. This kind of stuff gets me every time because I just can't imagine, getting to this place where this is what I would want to do to my loved one.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're going to keep tracking this, of course, right?
Yeah. To answer your question, her trial starts next month. Okay. And then we're going to find out so much.
Okay.
We're going to, there's going to be, I don't know if it'll be videotaped or not, but I mean, this is going to be salacious.
Well, we will circle back to this, definitely.
And circle back to it we have. Just last week, 2 weeks before Juliana's trial was set to start, a surprise hearing would be scheduled. It's here that a shocking plea deal was announced in a press conference where Fairfax County Commonwealth Attorney Steve Descano drops a bombshell, saying, quote, "Earlier today, Juliana Perez Magalhaes pled guilty to manslaughter for shooting and killing Joseph Ryan on the morning of February 24th, 2023. Today's agreement marks a significant step forward in this case, and it is an important development in our pursuit of justice for the victims and their families." Juliana would plead guilty in the death of Joseph Ryan, which meant no more trial, but she also agreed to testify against Brendan Banfield. Juliana is now corroborating the prosecution's allegations that not long after her affair with Brendan Banfield began in August of 2022, that he began scheming ways to kill his wife with the nanny that would ultimately lead to an elaborate double murder plot to frame another man, Joseph Ryan, in the stabbing death of his wife, Christine Banfield. Prosecutor Steve Descano discussing the plea deal.
Much of the information that led to this agreement cannot be made public at this time due to the upcoming criminal trial against the other defendant in this matter.
But what we do know is that the plea deal would corroborate in court what is to believe to be an incredibly dark and dastardly plot allegedly orchestrated by Brendan Banfield to murder his wife by luring a patsy, Joseph Ryan, to their home under the ruse of consensual, rough sex, and that during this act, he could blame the murder of his wife, Christine, on Ryan and say it was in self-defense. Now, if you'll recall, in episode 103, Juliana had made several 911 calls that morning. The first lasted just a few seconds, and then you heard the horrific sound of guttural moaning in the background. The next call came about 15 minutes later. Juliana saying that an intruder had stabbed her friend, and then Brendan Banfield takes the phone saying he'd shot a man who was stabbing his wife. In her plea, Juliana would say that her boss and lover, Brendan Banfield, used a fetish website to initiate contact with Joseph Ryan, and soon they were chatting with him through an encrypted messaging application, and at some point, Juliana would pretend to be Christine Banfield on a voice call. And all of that communication would ultimately lead to Ryan agreeing to go over to Christine's home that morning for what he thought was consensual rough sex. In this encounter, he planned to role-play breaking into her home, tying her down, and cutting off her clothes with a knife. According to Prosecutor Klingon, quote, "At various points before the 24th, Perez Magalhaes expressed to Brendan Banfield that she did not believe he would go through with this plan, and at other times she told him she did not want to continue, but he insisted that it was too late for her to back out." End quote. That on the morning of February 24th, 2023, Joseph Ryan shows up and begins to carry out the fantasy he believed that both he and Christine were into, having no idea that not only was this not consensual sex between he and Christine, but that he was a patsy in a larger double homicide plot. That morning, the nanny, Juliana, and the husband, Brendan, were hiding in the house, lying in wait. And when they heard Ryan enter the house, they left the Banfields' 4-year-old daughter in the basement, and they both went upstairs with guns. When they burst into the main bedroom, they pretended to be surprised. The husband, Brendan, called out police before shooting Ryan with his service weapon. Then, according to Juliana, he stabbed and killed his wife. The nanny says she then shot Ryan because he was still moving.
Our family at Phillips Cruises and Tours wants to say thank you to the thousands of people who have shared their Glacier cruise experience with us online and across social media. Guests from around the world commented that our tours were the highlight of their Alaska experience. Our staff works hard and takes great pride in sharing Prince William Sound with our guests. So let us provide the smooth journey for your next Alaskan adventure.
You can tell all the world that you paid a visit to the 26. I said the 26 Glacier Cruise.
Juvederm Day is coming on August 20th. For one day only, buy one $75 gift card and get one free. Juvederm Day gift cards can be used on any product in the Juvederm collection of fillers. Don't miss out on this once-a-year chance to save. Join Allie now while supplies last. Skin Beef by Juvederm is excluded from this promotion. Terms and conditions apply.
In court last Tuesday, prosecutors recommended time served for Juliana Magalhaes, but asked the judge to hold off on sentencing until after Brendan Banfield's trial because they want to see how cooperative she will actually be on the stand. So, in addition to Juliana's plea deal to manslaughter and the murder of Joseph Ryan, last week, body cam footage was released from that morning showing police responding to the house on Stablebrook Way. Here's Juliana Magalhaes speaking with officers as they enter the home and find one man shot dead in the upstairs bedroom and a woman who's been stabbed multiple times in the neck, clinging to life. Now, Brendan Banfield is in another room inside the house and is absent from this video.
So somebody's outside. Who's outside? In the back? In the back? There's a dog in the back. Anyone else outside? Huh? Who else is outside?
Nobody outside.
Anybody over here?
It's chaotic as police officers are attempting to secure the scene as EMT officers arrive.
Stay here. Hey, who is the shooter? Who shot who?
Brendan, he's an officer.
I got a blowout kit if you need it. Bring it up.
Is there anyone else in the house? Any kids in the house?
So first responders are upstairs and they see that there are these two people in the upstairs bedroom. Joseph Ryan, who has been shot in the head and the chest, is dead. And Christine Banfield, they say is breathing, but has multiple stab wounds. Juliana is in the frame as she walks from the upstairs down to the main floor and begins to hyperventilate as she tries to tell them that her host kid, the Banfield's 4-year-old daughter, is downstairs in the basement.
We're getting the ambulance here now.
My host kid is downstairs.
Okay.
I'm here.
How old's your host kid?
She's 4.5.
4.5? Where is she?
I need to talk to her. She doesn't know anything. What's...
Can we get her and we'll go outside?
No, I'm gonna get her.
She's grabbing their 4-year-old. We're gonna go outside.
Okay.
She's please.
It's okay.
She's 4.5.
I know this is hard. Let's get her outside, and then I need to get some information from you.
Hi, Val.
Hey. Hey, I'm Officer Bell. Nice to meet you. Do you want to go outside with us?
We need to go outside, okay?
Let's go.
The little girl has no idea that her mother is dying upstairs. Outside the front of the house, with Juliana and the Banfield's little girl, another EMT arrives, headed for the front door, and he's told by this officer that she's still breathing, referring to Christine Banfield.
Still breathing.
Sorry?
Still breathing.
Still breathing?
If you just want to tell me quickly what happened.
I don't really know what happened. Everything happened too fast. I was going to take her to the zoo this morning.
Can you go with Officer Batani really quick?
Why don't you come with us?
He has some stickers for you.
I was going to take her to the zoo this morning. And then I forgot the lunch we were going to pay.
Juliana explains that she was taking the Banfield's daughter to the zoo that morning and forgot their lunches, and so came back and saw a car she didn't recognize in the driveway. And when she called Christine, it immediately went to voicemail, and so then she called Brendan because she was scared.
You don't know who that? Do you know who the person is?
I have no idea. And then I was always trying to call her to see what's going on because it's early in the morning, like, who is here? And then it was straight to voicemail. I called Brendan, it's her husband. He's up there. I call him. I see a strange car, but I don't know who is that. Can you please come here? I'm scared. He came here, and then we went inside. The guy, I don't know who it is, he was spanking her. I was just here.
Were you here when it happened, or did you walk up in there and
No,
that's how they were?
yeah, he went upstairs first, and then I went to see what is going on.
She explains that she left the little girl in the basement and went upstairs to the bedroom and heard Brendan saying, "Drop the knife."
And then I was saying, drop the knife.
So Brendan's a police officer?
Yeah, he's an officer.
Is he with Fairfax?
No?
Where is he an officer?
I don't know. I think it's he was officer in Vienna.
Vienna?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second.
I'm going to get...
Okay.
Do you need anything else right now?
Not right now. The guy who shot is they think a Vienna police officer. So we got to think about that. That car, we don't know who, that's the guy who came up here that started the issue. This car is the outside guy, the silver car.
These two.
So this is their car. That is the guy who came here.
Okay.
She would later tell investigators that she shot the man in the chest once after Brendan Banfield shot him in the head.
They were yelling at each other. He was saying like, drop the. I'm sorry, my first language is not English.
No, you're doing really well.
He was saying drop the.
The knife or the gun?
The gun. And Brendan said, no, police, don't drop the knife. And he was saying, I'm gonna kill her. And I don't know, he started stabbing her. I think Brendan shot him, and he asked me help to shot him too because...
It's okay. You don't have to get it all out right now.
I never saw her before. Like,
you didn't see the girl before either? So the guy and the girl you don't know?
She's my boss.
Okay.
She's Valerie's mom. But I never seen it before. Like, it's a lot of blood.
Okay.
And throughout the body cam footage that morning, Juliana keeps asking for Brendan.
Brendan, he's in one of the police cars. I'm not sure where he is.
And now, according to Juliana and her plea deal, this was all a lie. And she will testify in Brendan Banfield's upcoming trial, currently scheduled for February of 2025. Meantime, Mogul Hayes will stay in jail until his trial is complete. Her sentencing hearing is slated for March of 2025, where she could face a maximum sentence of 10 years in state prison, or she could be set free for time served based on the prosecutor's current recommendation. If convicted as charged, Brendan Banfield faces life in prison. And we will definitely keep you posted on this investigation. But stick with us, because up next we have more Criminal Mischief bonus content. Here, my co-host Brandon Morgan and I discuss the case in more detail. And as always, thanks for listening. From Cloud 10, Criminal Mischief is a pie-in-the-sky production recorded in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.